Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have quite a bit more brand new news coming out here with the Celsius Network bankruptcy, where we actually had a proper court proceeding today, and there is a lot of information that was spread on out. There is some kind of good, but a lot of it was more so pushed into new questions that are awaiting open-ended answers. There's, of course, everyone's favorite topic. Clawbacks were discussed, and there actually may be a little bit more of a potential chance for clawbacks coming on in. There is other big things in terms of custody withdrawals. There's also acquisitions now for the GK8, I believe it is, for their proper listing and sale for that. They somehow found a bunch of money to continue operations, and there's also a lot of back and forth with basically call-ins and just a lot of stuff that happened all throughout this court case. If any of you guys are brand new and you guys see this, make sure you guys, if you guys want to, subscribe or give me your thoughts, comment down below. I've been trying my best to go cover up some of the crypto stuff and other interesting stuff like this, and as well, if you guys are one of my current subscribers, God only knows why I'm making this video on the second channel, so don't mind me on this one. If you guys just enjoy drama or like just want someone to fall asleep to, feel free to in the backdrop or leave a like or your comments down below. So one of the bigger things out this when it comes to this is everyone's favorite, and by that I mean probably worst topics, which is on the clawback side. So for this one, and if you guys don't know, for whatever reason, Celsius Networks was a really big cryptocurrency company that is now currently in bankruptcy, and they're going through the back and forth, and people are trying to get their money out of it, and also everyone's trying their best to squeeze as much as they can. When it comes to this one, it does go in state from Simon Dixon. Celsius currently stating that those that were moved to custody 90 days before filing should be withheld. Custody now currently has $210 million, and they just want to release only $50 million. They want to reserve the rest for clawbacks. They believe all earned funds belong to Celsius. Opinion, this is an illegal bank. So the two big, I think, factors over here. One is that we had a most recent notice from Celsius themselves that is pushing for the allowal of people in the custody accounts, in withdrawal accounts, to be able to withdraw. So what that means is that if you had under around $7,000, there's like a very, very specific number that I think also does allude towards clawbacks too as well, you would be able to go and withdraw that number. But the kind of big caveat on that is that between earn accounts, which is how you are making revenue, versus custody accounts, custody, if you got the money from your earn account into custody, that, to what they're stating, does not count for withdrawal. And as well, if you also made over that $7,000 mark point, it as well cannot be withdrew. They're trying to go push the idea that essentially this custody was only for people who put in brand new money into the account. So let's say like let's say you have a bank account and you basically go and move your savings to your checkings, that would not count. But if for your savings, you just got money for your birthday, you put $500 into it, that money would have been fine because it's technically brand new money that was only ever in your savings account. But that money from your checking to your savings would not count, at least from what they are stating in their legal documentation. So that would also lower down the pool from $200 million to around, I think it was around $50 million or so, which in theory is nicer for the general earned community, although I do think a lot of folks are saying we'd rather have custody, legally go get their money back, because it also has a Part 2 precedent, where basically if they go and claim that they own the earn account, that might be bad for creditors too as well. So it's kind of a really big back and forth, but right now I'd probably say most people are assuming this is not the perfect solution. This has not been sworn to law as of yet by the judge, to my understanding, but as of right this second, that is just the current up-to-date. We had proper tweets from it, proper court filings from it right now. Some people are in favor of clawbacks, and I think this does also tie into clawbacks, where that's why they have a certain set number tied into it, and as well that 90-day procurement as well, because as I think you guys know, is 89 days between the make of the earn account and maker of the custody account in regards to them trying to follow the SEC. So this is a very peculiar thing because this, in my opinion, does bump up the likelihood of clawbacks for retail quite a bit. I think a lot more folks are pushing for the big clawbacks of big internal insiders, employees, etc., rather than normal retail folks. So we're going to have to go and see how that goes and plays out in the future. This also kind of ties into a really big drama too as well with the unaccredited earn system, which that's actually currently the squad that I'm in right here. So for that kind of ties into the fact of a lot of folks are assuming that the SEC improperly did their job and did not go bring proper attention and proper legalities for that money to be allocated in the right spot. Mainly due to, as well, the big CEOs discussing the fact that this is like fine, it's a benefit, you get to be grandfathered into earn, it's so good, you'll keep on making money. But as more information came out with the insolvency, a lot of folks are assuming that, hey, if they put all these United States earn accounts purely into custody, which they should have been by legal law, they would have actually been pretty much bankrupt on the spot. And that's where a lot of fraud and issues are coming into, because they're trying their best to maintain as much money as they could in their ecosystem, because at that current time and moment where those custody and withhelds and all the earn accounts for the American unaccredited investors, that would have probably made them declare bankruptcy even quicker. So there's been a really big back and forth, and I think the big moral dilemma is, does Celsius own people's coins, or as well, what is going to happen with the actual coins in earn, withholding, and also in custody? So that kind of goes into a big thing, because in theory, even earn folks would want custody to win, because it helps them determine that Celsius was holding onto everyone's cryptocurrency assets because it was their custody, not Celsius, if that makes sense. So there is a bit of a weird, rough dilemma over there. But as well, throughout this, we also did go and have a few more notions too as well with the GK8, which is a really big custody business. Granted, it was only around $100 million or so, might be a little bit less in terms of a bear market, but they're also trying their best to seek approval to sell this by late September or early October too as well, and they're trying to see if they want to sell it as an individual part or a full-on big package. And this was also actually recently where they announced a partnership with Polygon, which actually might bump up their money too as well. So, very intriguing to go and see that one, because it also would bring a little bit more assets, but with the overall churn rate that Celsius is doing as of this current moment, that would only actually add another few more months. So in theory, it's probably better to work on the upper end of the company. You kind of replace out the obviously not good leadership with maybe either a different type of trust or someone else in the cryptocurrency kind of, a big CEO who's familiar with these assets that could be an interim CEO to make sure this company doesn't go even more flat than it already is, and go from there. So that's something that might be developed as time goes on, and as well, we'll see what other assets they're trying their best to go and sell. In theory, I do believe they have a loans group that you could go and sell. On top of that, you have the earn and lending program too, which is the big main factor of there. And then on top of that, you also have the Bitcoin mining facility too, which a lot of folks are saying that the IPO / buildup with proper leadership actually might be more equitable long term. A lot of folks have been comparing that with the Riot too as well. Riot blockchain, which is currently evaluated at around $1 billion, even with this market downturn, was also based in Texas. And as well, it's also very intriguing too because they've actually mined less Bitcoin than even Celsius did. And Celsius, as of this current moment, is not fully set up and also has more assets to deploy, such as unused mining rigs and more housing to go and still be developed. So there actually leads into the potential that this actually could be a more expensive blockchain / project than Riot itself is, and actually might be evaluated at over $1 billion, which if you had that given to either unaccredited and as well accredited and European investors, that would also maybe fill the hole, although ideally not as quickly, and ideally there is still some risk as well that might also give a lot of money and basically equity back to people. So people would still get a little bit of their coins back and as well mostly fill that hole with equity, and that seems like that could be the most potential business, because a lot of folks put that at a 20% or so profitability as long as it's ran well and they're recycling products and recycling miners and doing very good and very efficient runs, as well as also depends on electricity costs and all of that tied together. But as well, there's a few other different motions too on top of this, but I still think the big one on the day was more so on the custody group, trying to see if they can go get more money back as well. And this is also still tied in with the preference and 89-day filing. Pure custody was only $48 million, as we mentioned too as well. And we also had some folks such as Manny in the unaccredited earn department as well get some attention, have a chance to go and speak publicly, and brought up more of the issues with the scam, fraud, and basically debating of all these different companies and how unaccredited earn should be also part of custody as well. And a lot of the judge has been very concerned with the lack of information, lack of guidance, and everything else tied in with this. And as well, they also wanted to go and highlight a bunch of different addresses and a bunch of different other bits and pieces, email, addresses, names, etc., which a lot of folks, even Celsius themselves, have been fully against. Although the judge wants to make sure there's no preferential treatment towards any of these creditors, and wants to make sure no insiders or big companies get paid out or have some weird schemy dealings or family, etc., that's also involved. So it's kind of a big toss-up with this one too as well. So it's a very, very eventful day, and like I mentioned, a lot of stuff seems like it's more on the open-ended side, where we kind of closed 5 different doors and opened up 50 different ones. So give me your thoughts, give me your comments down below as well. This was a very crazy thing. So make sure if you guys want to subscribe, put on the notifications if you guys want to. If you guys want more crypto news, feel free to. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching, even in the first place.